welcome to yoga, and then everyone else joining. I'm Rachel, and this is your all-level class on Friday evening. We're gonna just work on moving the body this evening and getting some energy moving. Please make sure you have some water nearby, make sure you have your yoga mat. Please grab any props that you'd like to use, blankets or blocks, and if you don't have blocks, you might like to substitute by grabbing a stack of books and using books in place of blocks. You might also like to have some music on in the background for licensing purposes. I'm not playing music, so just put on whatever you like to move to. And we will get started here in a moment. Let's see. So wait just another moment or so. Karen, at this point you're the only one on, so do you have any particular areas of the body that need some focus this evening? You can go ahead and just type it in the comments if you want. Just want to make sure everyone's getting what they need out of practice. We're just going to go ahead and dive in. Go ahead. Oh, hey Eva, good to see you as well. I'm glad you're joining for practice this evening. I was just asking if there's any particular area of the body that could use a little bit of extra attention. If so, you can just type in and let me know so we can try to hit those spots for you. Torso. Okay, we'll do some stretching and movement for the spine and opening the chest and stuff like that. So let's begin this evening in child's pose. You can come onto your hands and knees, and then let your hips rest back by your heels, extend your arms out in front of you, and bring your forehead to the floor. And allow your body to settle here. Forehead resting comfortably on the mat. You might decide you want to take your knees a little bit wider, or maybe take the knees a little closer together, just whatever feels better in your own body. And then take some time to connect with your breath here. Just noticing that every inhale you feel the back of your body expand, and every exhale the belly softens more. Paying attention to where parts of your body are that make contact with the mat, and the parts of your body that feel more open and expansive towards the space around you. And you might like to begin rocking along your brow line, shifting your head from side to side. And let's begin to slowly lift up onto our hands and knees. Stacking knees under hips and hands underneath the shoulders. And right away, moving ourselves into some cat-cow to warm up the spine. So let's take a breath in. Let the belly dip towards the mat as you lift your gaze up. And with an exhale, round your spine. We inhale, opening the chest. Exhale, round it out. We'll do about 3 more. And returning towards a neutral spine, tucking the toes under and letting your weight sink towards your heels. You can stretch out your toes and soles of your feet. And we'll take ourselves back up towards tabletop. Release tops of the feet flat, and you can either tap them out or start to circle the feet around. And then as you like, go ahead and sit back either on your heels or in a cross-legged position. And then from your seat, you can release right hand down by your side, left arm reaches up and over, lengthening out the left side body. And then we'll inhale, start to lift, and exhale, take it in reverse. And breathing all the way up. With your exhale, interlace your hands behind your back, and then start to hug your shoulder blades together, hug your elbows together, and then lift your gaze upwards slightly. And then we'll take a little twist, turning our upper body towards the left, and then towards the right. And back to center, releasing hands, roll the shoulders out a little bit, backwards and forwards. And then let's drop our right ear towards our right shoulder. And then you might take the left hand and spider crawl the fingertips out away from the body slightly. And as the hand draws in, the head will lift, and we'll switch left ear to left shoulder. You can walk the right fingertips out a bit. And then back to center. We'll come to all fours once again. This time opening up the knees a little wider than your hips. Keep the toes together and start to circle the hips back and around. And take those hips in reverse. And right back to all fours. Before we move into downward facing dog, let's thread the needle. So you can either stay up on the knees with the hips elevated, or if you'd like to come to child's pose, you may. So we'll thread the left arm through, reaching out towards the right side of the room. And then perhaps take the right arm behind the back. Let's release the right arm out in front of us, press ourselves up, and then switch sides. Right arm will reach over to the left. And you have the option to take left arm behind your back. left hand down, press yourself back up onto all fours. Walk the hands forward maybe 2 to 3 inches as you tuck the toes, knees lift and the hips reach back towards the wall behind you for downward dog. And then as always, it's nice to walk it out a little bit, stretch out the calves and the feet. And then maybe holding still here for a few breaths. So we'll take a twist and I'm going to give you 2 options. The first option is to step your feet as wide as your mat and then walk your hands backwards, maybe 2 to 3 inches. Right hand will stay on the floor and the left hand reaches across your body, grabs the outside of the right leg, and the torso and head turn towards the right. So that's option A. Option B, you'll walk your hands all the way back by the feet, left hand stays on the ground, and the right arm reaches up in the air, gaze up towards thumb or towards the side of the room. And then we'll take it in reverse. Bring that right hand towards the floor, and then left hand reaches up in the air if you're in your standing twist. If you're in downward facing dog, your right hand will reach for the outside of the left leg. And return back to center, everyone making their way back to downward facing dog. We'll walk the feet back in line with the hips. Let's lower down to our knees. Walk the hands forward maybe 2 to 3 inches. And then allow the elbows to bend and chest and hips to drop towards the ground. With a big inhale, we lift the chest up towards cobra. Make sure the shoulders are back, the elbows are in. And then exhale, we lower back down. Tucking the toes, allowing these to press into the mat. Engage the core upwards towards a supported plank, and then hips back to downward or child's pose. So we're taking ourselves up to tabletop, and then from tabletop, extending the right leg straight back. Exhale, knee to nose. Inhale the right leg back. Now exhale, swing the leg out to the right side of the room. Inhale the right leg back. Exhale, knee to nose. Inhale the right leg back. Exhale, swing your leg out to the right. Inhale the right leg back. Exhale, knee to nose. Inhale the right leg back, and then lower your knee to the floor. All right, second side. I'm going to turn around so I don't kick anything. So let's send the left leg back, and exhale, knee to nose. Inhale the left leg back. Exhale, swing leg out to the left. Inhale, left leg back. Exhale, knee to nose. Inhale, left leg back. Exhale, we swing left. Inhale, leg back. Exhale, knee to nose. Inhale, left leg back. Lower knee to mat. Make your way to child's pose. we'll take it up to all fours, tuck our toes, hips back, downward facing dog. Let's begin to walk forward towards the top of our mat. Coming to a standing forward fold, palms come to shins, press yourself halfway up, and exhale, fold forward. Standing up nice and tall, reaching arms all the way up, and exhale, hands come to heart. So getting into that side body and torso a little bit more, coming to a solid mountain pose. So making sure feet are lined up underneath our hips, tailbone slightly pointed down, belly is in, chest elevated slightly, shoulders back. And then we'll take another breath, inhaling the arms up. You can grab your left wrist with your right hand and exhale, take a side stretch over to your right. And then use your inhale to lift up, grab your opposite wrist. Exhale, lean over to your left. And then we'll inhale, rise all the way up. Exhale, interlace hands behind the back. Hug the shoulder blades back together, elbows back, gaze is upwards. And then we exhale, forward fold with the hands bound. Let's release our hands down to the mat and come back to tabletop. So I just want to make sure I'm seeing everyone's comments here. Okay, my computer keeps freezing up. All right, from tabletop, let's take the right leg and reach it out to the side of the room. So you want to line up your foot with your left knee. And then we're standing up nice and tall. So we're essentially standing on that left knee. Make sure the hip is lined up over your knee. Reaching arms all the way up and over, and then exhale into Parigasana or gate pose. So the left arm reaches over towards the right. And we'll start to lift. With the exhale, drop that left hand down by the floor. Reach the right arm up in the air. Make sure you have your hip, left hip aligned over your knee. Start to engage the right leg and float the right leg up. And exhale, tap the right foot to the floor. Inhale, lift the leg. Exhale, lower. Inhale, lift. Exhale, lower. Inhale, lift. Now we might need to pivot on that left knee a little bit. We're swinging our right leg out to the right side of the room and then dropping the foot down, dropping the right hand down, and then sending the hips back towards the left heel into a half child's pose. Draw the hands back under the shoulders, lift back up onto that left knee, reach both arms up in the air, gate pose again, right hand drops down to the right leg, left arm reaches over. And then we'll inhale, lift all the way up, exhale, left hand drops down by the side. Send the left leg back up in the air. And then swing that leg around to the front. Lower the right hand down. So now our body is set up in a half split. So let those hips just reach back. Try to keep the heart moving forward. Nice long spine. And then inhale, bend your front knee. Take a lunge. Exhale, hips back, half split. Inhale, bend your front knee. Exhale, hips back. Inhale, bend your front knee. Exhale, hips back. We'll hold it here and add a twist. Left hand stays on the inside of the leg on the mat. The right arm reaches up in the air. We turn the chest and gaze towards the right. And right hand lowers down. Let's drag that right heel back, come to all fours, and take a child's pose. And back to tabletop. So when you're ready from tabletop, let's extend the left leg out towards the left side of the mat, making sure our foot lines up with our right knee. And then inhale, we lift, both arms reaching up overhead, and exhale, Parigasana, side stretch over to the left. And we'll inhale, start to lift ourselves up. Exhale, right hand drops to the mat by our side. Left arm reaches straight up in the air. Tailbone is slightly tucked here, making sure our right hip lines up over top of our right knee. And we'll start to actively engage the left leg, floating the left leg up. Exhale, tap the foot down. Inhale, we lift. Exhale, we tap down. Inhale, we lift. Exhale, we tap. Inhale, we lift. Slight pivot on the right knee so we can send that left leg out towards the left side of the room. So we're rotating about 45 degrees here. And then we're going to lift ourselves all the way up to standing back in Parigasana. Left hand drops down to the left leg. Right arm reaches over towards the left. And we inhale, both arms lift. Exhale, right hand down by your side, left arm up in the air. Lean into that right side of it. Left leg floats up. And then we exhale, swing it around to the front. Now the hips are pointing forward. We're in our half split. Think about pulling the heart forward a bit. Create some length in the spine. And when you're ready, lunge, bend your front knee. Exhale, hips back. Inhale, lunge. Exhale, back. Inhale, lunge. Exhale, back. Let's hold here for a moment, getting set up for our twist. So the right hand stays inside of the leg on the ground. Left hand will reach up towards the ceiling. Torso turning towards the left as well. And the left hand lowers down to the mat. We drag that left heel, left knee back, make our way to child's pose. So a bit of rotation happening on our mat today. Give yourself another breath or two in child's pose. And let's begin to make our way towards downward facing dog. And take another moment here just to walk it out, pedaling the feet. And from either downward dog or releasing back to your knees and coming to tabletop, let's all inhale the right leg up and back. And with an exhale, you'll look forward and step your right foot up between the hands. I'm going to turn around so I'm not facing away from the camera. And then take your back foot, rotate it out or open 90 degrees. And we're rising up to the top of triangle pose. So as the torso lifts, the front leg will straighten out. So your right foot should be pointing towards the front of your room, and your left foot should be pointing towards the side. So extending through all 10 fingers, tuck the tailbone slightly, lift up through the crown of your head as you inhale. And then exhale, start to reach into that right side. Keep reaching, keep reaching, keep reaching, and then hold here. Maybe allow for a tiny micro bend in the right knee. And then we finally rotate, allowing that right hand to lower down just inside of the right shin as the left hand draws upwards. And if you have a yoga block or some books, you might stack them underneath the right hand. So let's challenge ourselves a bit here. We'll inhale, and then as we exhale, allow the right knee to bend. Inhale, the right leg straight. Exhale, the knee bends. Inhale, straight. Exhale, bend. We'll hold here. And then lift up to warrior two, so the torso rises up. Now reversing our warrior, drop your left hand back to your left leg, and then reach the right arm up towards the ceiling, keeping the front knee bent. And we inhale back to the top of warrior two. Big breath in. Exhale out. Let's straighten that front leg, right leg again. Turn the right foot, so now the insides of both feet are parallel. Sweep both arms up in the air as you inhale, and with your exhale, take a forward fold all the way down towards the mat. Pressing into the fingertips, lift your chest halfway up. As you exhale, we're going to rotate, walk the hands back towards the front, making our way into a low lunge. Plant your palms and then step the right foot back to downward facing dog or tabletop. So I'm going to pivot for you guys once again. And we'll take a few breaths here. Take a child's pose if you need a moment to rest. And repeating from the top, so beginning in downward dog or table, inhale the left leg up. Look up between the hands. Exhale, step forward into your lunge, and then turn the back foot out 90 degrees. Once you feel stable here, we're rising all the way up to the top of triangle pose. So again, both legs are straight here. So tailbone pointed slightly downwards, lifting up through the crown of our heads. Big breath in. And with your exhale, start to reach into that left hand. Keep reaching, keep reaching, keep reaching, and hold. Allow for a tiny micro bend in the left knee. Keeping your core nice and strong. And then we rotate, dropping left hand down just inside of the shin, or maybe a yoga block meets the hand or some books. Right hand lifts and reaches upwards. And then adding from here, so we inhale, and then our exhale, the left knee bends. Inhale, the left leg straightens. Exhale, it bends. Inhale, straight. Exhale, bend. Let's hold here for a few moments. Side angle pose. And then we'll lift up to warrior two. So the front knee remains bent. We'll take it in reverse. Drop the right hand back towards the right leg. Left hand lifts upwards towards the ceiling. Think about creating length rather than just collapsing back. So focus on lengthening the right side of the body as well as the left. Back to warrior two, torso rises. And then we'll straighten the left leg, turn our left foot. So once again, insides of both feet parallel one another. Inhaling the arms up, and exhale, forward fold. Press fingertips into the mat, lift our chest halfway up, and then walk the hands around to the left foot. Step the left foot back into downward facing dog or a child's pose if that's where you'd rather go. And we'll lower back down onto the knees. If you're in child's pose, stay there. If you haven't taken one yet, go ahead, relax the hips back. So since we're here in child's pose, let's take both hands, start to walk the upper body and hands over to the right. Keep your forehead resting towards the ground. And then we'll take it in the opposite direction. Hands walk over to the left. And then back to center we go. One more inhale. And a deep exhale. Let's lift ourselves back up onto hands and knees. We're coming back into thread the needle from tabletop. We're going to add on a couple of options here, different variations if you want to try them to work the balance side of the practice a little bit more. So inhaling the left arm up. We'll thread the needle, left fingertips reaching out towards the right. See if you can keep your hips elevated over tops of the knees. And you have some options here. You can send that right arm behind your back if you'd like. If not, just keep your hand on the mat. And then you can take right leg and either bring the right foot out to the side of the room, foot on the floor, or you could take the right toes and slide them straight behind you, having to engage the core a bit here. And if you're feeling really strong and supported here, you might slowly begin to lift the right leg away from the mat and kick through the ball of your foot. And if none of those options work, just keep your right knee on the mat as it was when you started. And we'll return the right hand back to the floor. Lower the right knee back to the mat and press yourself up. And let's take it in reverse. So I'm going to turn around again. So this time the right arm reaches up in the air and we'll thread the needle reaching in the opposite direction. You can decide if you want to add on the arm first, or maybe try a leg extension first, maybe try both. And we'll take one more breath. And let's drop that left hand back to the floor. Pull the left knee back into the body. Press yourself up. And then we're lowering out all the way down onto the belly and chest. So once you get down, go ahead and extend both arms out in front of you. And your legs are straight behind you. So forehead rests on the mat. And so with your next breath, I want you to lift opposite arm and leg. So right leg lifts, left arm lifts, and the head and chest lift as well. And try to kick the toes back and reach the fingertips forward. And then lower everything down. Take a breath in. Exhale, opposite arm and leg lift, head and chest lift. Reaching forward and back, creating length. Keep breathing. And lower down. So take a moment. The next round we'll be lifting both arms and both legs. So if having the arms out in front of you does not feel conducive, you may send your arms behind you, palms facing the legs. So let's gather up our breath here. Start to across your pelvis down into the mat. And then we'll lift the arms first, lift the head and chest next, and then possibly lift both legs. So again, arms can be back by the legs, or arms could be out in front of you. And notice your tendency to hold your breath here. Try to keep that breath flowing with as much ease as possible. And when you're ready, go ahead, lower down. We'll come to by stacking arms in front of us, opening the legs out wider and resting your forehead down. And bringing the legs together, slowly press back towards one more child's pose. And we'll start to rise up to a seat, taking both legs out in front of us. We'll finish up this part with an upward facing tabletop. So feet are about hip distance apart. The hands are a couple of inches behind the shoulders. We want to spread out the fingers nice and wide. Start to activate through the legs. Press down through the fingers as well as the base of the hand. And then lift your hips up. If it's comfortable, you may drop your head back. If not, keep your gaze forward. And lower the hips down. Now let's keep the feet where they are. Spin the fingertips to point towards the back of the room. And then walk the hands as far back as you can possibly get them. And you might start to puff up through the chest a little bit. And again, if your neck is healthy and it's comfortable, you can drop your head back. Otherwise, keep your gaze forward. And then we'll slowly walk the hands back in. Maybe wrap your arms around yourself, give yourself a great big hug, and lower your chin to your chest. And as you're ready, go ahead, release, lower down onto your back. Let's hug our knees into our chest. Take a happy baby pose, so arms come inside of the knees, and we can either grab the bottoms of the feet if we can reach. Perhaps we grab the shins or the ankles. Maybe some of you would rather grab the backs of your knees. Either way, see if you can start to open up the legs a little wider. The knees can stay bent. And maybe you like to rock it out a bit side to side. And then hug the knees back into the chest. Place your feet down on the mat. Open your arms nice and wide. We'll finish up with a simple twist, allowing hips to move over to the left a few inches. Knees drop to the right, and then perhaps your head turns to the left. And we inhale, lifting the knees up. Exhale all the way out. And let's shift our hips over to the right a few inches. This time knees drop to the left, and then your head might turn in the opposite direction. And we'll inhale back to center. Time. One last knees to chest. Maybe circle the knees around a few times in both directions. And as you feel complete, go ahead and extend your legs out in front of you on your mat, arms resting by your sides. Let your body relax as you take one more full body breath in through the nose and out through the mouth. Letting your body fully surrender here. As you feel ready, just start to move fingers and toes. Bring your awareness back to your body and your breath. And allow yourself to stretch and move any way that you need. And as you roll to your side, spend a moment or two there. And lastly, you'll rise up to a comfortable seat, pressing palms together at your heart in Anjali Mudra to seal your practice. Taking one more deep breath on your own. Bowing your head to your heart in gratitude to show up on your mat today and get some energy moving in your body. And may we all know love, may we all know peace, may we all know kindness, and may these things always flow to and from us. Namaste. So thank you to everyone that joined. Eva and Karen, I hope this was a beneficial practice for your body. Eva, I hope you got that movement that you so today. So join me again on Monday. I'll be back for a daily bloom meditation at noon and then Vinyasa Flow Monday evening. So I hope you guys have a wonderful weekend and I will see you soon. Bye.